Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. The Boston Major is just around the corner and OpTic Texas have secured their #1 seed, largely in part to Dashy being on fire this past weekend, playing at a much faster pace than usual. Apparently now he's going to be the flex on the team as well. Might be crucial to their success at a very big time for this team. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. As you might be able to tell, we're currently at the airport. My flight is in a few hours time at this point to go to the Boston Major. Very exciting. I mentioned it into videos before, but if you guys aren't aware, I'll be there this weekend. Great stuff, and yeah, hopefully all goes well, because some people's flights are not going so well, and we'll see that here in just a few seconds time. Lighting isn't great, but you know, it is what it is. We make do. Just gotta mention quickly, because we managed to top, for now, the fantasy leaderboard. Very proud moment for myself of all these guys that got involved. I don't even believe my team is that good compared to what some people have come up with, but it's better than everyone else, and it's still better than X, so we'll definitely take that for now. Things might change though at the Major, unfortunately, and it's only a couple of days until this Major kicks underway. Few updates for you guys as well. Firstly, from Claystar and some of the other pros, a lot of the flights, for some reason, not exactly sure why, coming out of Dallas-Fort Worth, where a lot of the pros are based, of course, to Boston, Massachusetts, are getting cancelled. They're probably just all over the, all over the country or world, even for some reason. Not exactly sure what's going on there, but obviously a lot of the pros are meant to fly out today as well. I think my flight's okay, thankfully. We'll check on my phone in a second here. But yeah, it's Guerrillas saying, hang on, maybe we'll have to do some sort of carpool and get everyone to drive. And Clay looks up how long the drive would take, and it's about a 27-hour drive. So I don't know what the solution is there. There were some people suggesting that you could potentially drive to Oklahoma and fly from there instead. But yeah, don't know what's happening. Not ideal at all. Even Kismet says, I'm mentally prepared for this carpool drive to Boston. Who's about it? So I don't know how many pros are going to have to deal with this issue if it's going to remain for many people as well. But yeah, hopefully it doesn't affect the pros too badly, because obviously not ideal preparation for the tournaments, having to potentially have like a 2-day drive to Boston, which they probably won't end up doing, but yeah, not ideal at the end of the day. Also wanted to mention Major 4 and/or Champs, just because I think there's meant to be, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, who knows, an update from Daniel Sign, the guys, like a community update, right, that the CDL guys do every now and then, and we're expecting some sort of information on, maybe not Champs yet, but certainly Major 4. It's meant to be in New York, right, to the King's Theatre again. That's now cancelled, and the rumour is it's going to be held, well, I don't really know, to be honest. There's a couple of different rumours going around where it's going to be. The question really is, are the CDL going to host it as their own thing like they did at Raleigh, or is it going to be a team that actually steps in to say, alright, we'll take that over from New York? So that remains to be seen. Maybe we'll get an update over the coming days, maybe we won't, to be honest. Also, as we move into the OpTic Texas stuff, thought this was quite cool. They're hosting a Challengers tournament, of course, alongside their Pro tournament at Major 3 in Texas on, I think, the second weekend of March, and some emails went around yesterday to some Challengers teams saying, okay, a $75,000 Challenger tourney, great stuff, beginning on March the 10th, of course, alongside that event. As an elite or academy team, OpTic Texas wanted to offer you the first chance to secure your team pass before we release it to the general public. It's really cool stuff, actually, because I think quite often what will happen here is that when they do the team passes, I think it's only a 64 team tourney here, which is still pretty big, but it does mean that if there's only 64 teams, those passes go very quickly, and the teams, the actual elite and academy teams that want to ensure they can go, have a bit of a stressful time ensuring they can get a pass. So quite a good idea just to say, you know what, all of the elite or academy teams, you guys want to attend, get your pass now ahead of time, and then it will be released to the public for effectively whatever is left over the coming days. So I thought that was quite cool as well. And yeah, we've got to talk about this OpTic versus FaZe series, because Dashy is different level in this one, and his numbers, at least in terms of engagements per 10 minutes, are so much different now than they were at the start of the season during stage 1. And this might be, and honestly it's the same thing with the entire team. They're playing at an incredible pace now, and part of it might be the maps they're playing on, but part of it might be this kind of new post-Rambo unstructured environment where they basically just do whatever they want. And look at these numbers, right? Most damage in a series, Dashy. Most kills in a series, most kills in a map. Most first bloods, aBeZy. Most time first blooded was Shotzzy over, I guess, the 2 S&D maps. Total engagements was Simp at 237. So yeah, I mean, it was a series of just ridiculous pace. And Shotzzy actually mentioned this last night. We didn't get a clip of this, unfortunately, but I think the point definitely stands that Cellium is using a third sub a fair bit on Embassy, because that's the question for these teams. Certainly a team like Florida, right? When you got Dave Petty and Major Maniac, when you need a third SMG to be pulled out on certain R points, like who's going to do it on that team? And on FaZe, it's usually Cellium, and apparently Dashy is now going to do that on OpTic, so he's kind of going to be the flex now. This was kind of what he was doing, I suppose, back in the Black Ops Cold War season when he was the flex, right, and Formal was kind of the main, but that season, like, he never really pulled out an SMG, never really used an SMG for the last several years, even though back in the Black Ops 4 days when he was making his name, he was an incredibly fast AR, and was playing in a slightly, slower, more methodical style the last couple of years, that maybe doesn't suit him so well. There's an argument to say that since post-Rambo he can do what he wants, and now he's able to maximize his potential in a sense. So iLLeY is going to be the main AR here, it seems, and Dashy is going to kind of be on the flex and the more aggressive role. And that was the thing, like even this past weekend or versus Ultra, right? iLLeY was the one using the third sub, and now it's probably going to be Dashy. And we can see this by the numbers. It's actually kind of crazy to look at. This is stage 1 and the major. Just for example, look at these numbers here with the team kills per 10 minutes, right? So Dashy was at 19, iLLeY was at 19, Shotzzy and Scump were at 22. That was how the team was generally playing before stage 1 major. These are the numbers now in stage 2 so far. And yes, they've obviously won more of their games. They're getting more kills per 10 minutes. Yes, they're probably playing a map set that favors some faster play. But all of them have 23 kills per 10 minutes. And then Dashy has 27.5. This is by far the most in the league, actually. I think the second highest in the league is 25.5 kills per 10 minutes. Dashy's got 27.5, which is like 50% more kills than he was getting previously. So there's got to be a playstyle change here that's happened. I know that Dashy, when he was, as I say, making his mark on the scene, he was a very fast-paced, aggressive AR. And in the last couple of years, we haven't really seen that so much. There's an argument to say that, under Rambo's coaching, Dashy was playing a style that might actually be quite effective, but doesn't necessarily suit his preferred style of play, right? And we see this in the other game modes as well. In the control, it's kind of less noticeable. But in the hardpoint, it's most certainly true, right? So yeah, stage 1 kills per 10 minutes was 19.2, stage 2 is at 27.5. So it does feel like we're getting more of the Dashy of old, and we saw that yesterday, right? Because at the start of the season, he wasn't so impressive even statistically, but yesterday he had an absolutely ridiculous series, and well, pretty much single-handedly took down FaZe, you could argue. That now leaves them with these at point standings if you guys are interested in going into the major. FaZe are actually third here, Ultra second, and Subliminal still first after winning the first major. Then goes Rokkr, Surge, and then OpTic here at number 6. So obviously there's still, at the end of the day, these points don't mean that much now. It's more about World Championship qualification, which most of these teams should be okay with, but at least every team has some points on the board. Definitely some teams down there that I'd be nervous about getting to the World Championship, but yeah, decent run of the major changes the story of this a fair bit. Couple of things just to close out the video here. We thought this is pretty funny. I showed you guys this clip yesterday when iLLeY was suggesting that, this is my facility. After taking down the Toronto guys at their own venue, effectively, and even Standy says from the Toronto team, I'm definitely changing his settings and messing with his monitor next time if he wants to play here again. So we'll see if they actually ever let him back in the building after taking them down after that one. And also, I thought this is kind of cool, right? If this is actually what the Sniper Blueprint looks like, because we do this watch and earn thing. If you watch on the official COD channel, you can earn things to play in Modern Warfare 2 and stuff. I think first time out they had some pistol blueprints, but they've got this iced out weapon blueprint here for the Sniper. Actually looks kind of good, to be fair, with the COD League logo on it. There's some other decent things here as well. So yeah, good job to the CDL actually delivering something decent in this watch and earn kind of drops that you can get by watching the matches, because well, I think it does help a fair bit getting new people to watch the scene. There was also a bit of a kind of beef here briefly between some of the teams. Rokkr was like breaking subletters unfollow Boston Breach on Instagram, and Boston were like, yeah, never follow them to begin with. So we'll see if they can match up at the major. Always a fun game. They're very close in terms of seeding. I mentioned yesterday there was even a possible tiebreaker game between the two of them that never came to pass for that third seed. And just to finish out with this as well here from Scump, I thought it was awesome that Lineman put together. So this is pretty much the entirety of Scump's career cards. He does have the most recent career card here for Modern Warfare 2, with Scump playing one event, and he's obviously sitting doing the watch party now. So would have looked a little bit cleaner if Scump just called it a day pre-Modern Warfare 2 and we had the nice like 12 cards from all the years of his career, Black Ops 1 through to Call of Duty Vanguard. But yeah, I mean, like obviously Scump was different even back in the Ghost days, but to me it was kind of this run from Advanced Warfare during the Jetpack era where Scump was just completely different level to all the other SMGs in the game and was just setting the pace, to be honest. And then World War II obviously wasn't so strong, and then Black Ops 4 he was back in business, Modern Warfare as well, and then Cold War was a great game individually for Scump. I believe he even mentioned on stream recently that if we were still playing Cold War or games like Cold War, he feels like he might still be competing to this day, which just kind of goes to show what Vanguard was like and also what this game is like. But he did say in fairness that he thinks this game is better than Vanguard as well, which I am inclined to agree with. I mean, it's just one of these things that it's the COD cycle, right? Vanguard ends and now people are like, actually, damn, Vanguard, it wasn't so bad. I mean, it was pretty bad, there's no denying it, but people say, okay, to watch it wasn't so bad and all this type of stuff, which is maybe understandable. At least Tuscan, it was a great map, right? I mean, I think Tuscan, unironically, was a very well-designed Call of Duty map. I feel like in the future, when it comes to actually potentially remastering maps or something, like Tuscan would actually be one that could be potentially like COD Mobile, for example, might want to put Tuscan in their map pool, and they've got like the best maps from COD history, like cherry-picked, right, from all the different games, which I think might be justified in this case. But I'm not going to gas up Vanguard any more than that. So very much intrigued to your thoughts thoughts on all this in the comments below. Just wanted to say as well, FaZe have got a podcast on the go as well, and they actually gave it a name this time. I believe their first podcast they called like Atlanta FaZe Podcast Episode 1 question mark exclamation mark or something. It did some weird title for it, and now it's For Gays with FaZe, which is actually pretty good to be fair. So I mean, yeah, this hopefully will be a more common thing they'll do every single week to get their updates and stuff. And now I'm going to try and get this video uploaded and get the flight to Boston. So very exciting stuff. Very much enjoyed your thoughts on all this in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.